Nice work on that. Try one more. Let's talk about it. Make sure that we're on the same page, okay? All right, first question. How did you represent this problem? Say it out loud. Right. There's actually two questions in this problem, isn't there? There's the big question. Let's start with that. For that one, I'm thinking you probably did some sort of comparison because we're trying to figure out which quilt has more green and blue squares, Victoria's or Victoria's mom. We know that Victoria's has 6400s. And we don't know mom's. And we don't know if this is less than, greater than, or equal to. But that's what we're trying to figure out. All right. What's the little question that we have to answer first in order to then answer this big question? Say it out loud. Right. Our little question is we need to know what fraction of the quilt is actually going to be made of blue and green squares. And we know from the problem that 4/10 are made of green squares on Victoria's mom's quilt. And we know that 2500ths are made of blue. So if we combine those two amounts, that will tell us the total blue and green for mom's quilt. Okay, great. So then, how do we solve? Say it out loud. Right. So first we have to rename our 4/10 so that we have a fraction with a denominator of 100. We multiply by 10 over 10, we get 40/100ths. We can add 40/100ths and 25/100ths to get 65/100ths, or written here as a decimal, right? That's the amount of blue and green squares in mom's quilt. Are we done? Say it out loud. Right, we're not done. This is the answer to the little question. Now we have to actually solve the big question, right, of comparing Victoria's and mom's quilt to figure out whose quilt has more squares that are green and blue. So, who does have more? How do you know? Yeah, Victoria's mom has more, doesn't she? 65/100ths is greater than 64/100ths, and we could use a place value chart to check this. The largest place, right, that has different digits is the hundredths place. And 5/100ths is more than 4/100ths, so 65/100ths is going to be more than 64/100ths. You can see it here as well, written a different way. 64/100ths is less than 65/100ths. So then mom's quilt, right, has a greater fraction of blue and green squares. Okay, how was this problem different than the first one that we did? Say it out loud. Yeah, this problem had two questions we needed to answer. A big question, and then a little question that we needed to answer first so that we could then answer the big question. We have to make sure that both of these are represented and solved.